ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Sri Paramatma Sandarbha, Sanuchhed number 1, on page number 9. Yes. Can you give the mic to him? Back side. Alex. Give to Alex. Just give back side. Nahi, Purushottam needs here.
Yesterday we discussed that Bhagavan is equal to Paramatma, mathematically speaking. And at the same time,
Vaikuntha.
Only Vaikuntha. So we are also saying Paramatma is also a partial manifestation of the Lord.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks little different understanding that sense, because even the verse 1 to 12, 1 to 11, it says absolute truth is Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So one absolute truth you see differently based on your adhikar. So these three things or two things can clarify that.
No, what is the question?
The question is, you said Bhagavan is equal to Paramatma, and Paramatma is also a partial manifestation of the Lord.
Yeah.
So this partial manifestation, then it's all equal to Bhagavan.
Partially equal.
But we are not saying this.
So this this concept of absolute reality, we have to get it right. Because it is not some kind of boundary cut point here like that. It's only one absolute reality which manifests in everything. You are also equal to Bhagavan. Krishna says, I am everything. He says, Bhagavani Vetaro. Narada Muni says that this universe is also like Bhagavan. Because there is nothing else. Right? Neha nanasti kinchana. Upanishad says that there is no variety. Nana means variety. Kinchana at all. And sarvam khalu idam brahma. So idam means? What does idam mean? Sujani? Malati? This. So he says that sarvam khalu idam means what is available to us now. This is Brahman. So Upanishad is equating even this to Brahman. And Krishna says Vasudeva sarvamiti. Everything is Vasudeva. So this mathematics is little different type of mathematics. That's what we have to understand. So just like if you point to an ocean and you say this is ocean. So when you are saying this, that this is not encompassing everything because you cannot see everything. At most this can refer to what is visible to you. Right? But that is just one part. So part is also sometimes referred to as the whole. You do that. If your shirt is torn in one part, then you say my shirt is torn. Or if it catches fire in one part while cooking, you say my shirt is burnt, but you are still having the shirt on. So it's only one part for which you are referring as shirt. Nobody says that part of my shirt is torn, or part of my maybe somebody who is really very precise in speaking would say that. So it is but it is understood. So similarly, Paramatma is a manifestation, like this universe is a manifestation. So being manifestation is also his part, and being part is equated to that. Because there is only one reality, and there are no two realities. That's why the knowers of the truth, Tattva, they say that this is Advaya Gyan. Vadanti tat tattvidas tattvam is jnanam advayam. So those who know tattvam, they say that it is non-dual. It's also interesting, they instead of saying it is one, they say Advaya. So Advaya is an interesting word. Advaitavad also. Why they don't say Ekvad? Why do they say Advaitavad? Because when you say Advaitavad, then you have to first assume there are two, and then you deny it. So you cannot deny something which does not exist. Right? If you have to deny something, that thing must exist first. Otherwise denial does not have any meaning. So the Advaitavad therefore actually implies that reality is one, but inside that there is variety, and that variety is not independent. That's why it is Advaita. That is also the meaning of Advaya. So it is one reality, but one reality is manifest in many different ways, and they are all part of that reality. So sometimes that part is referred to as the whole. Yes? Something more you want to say? You're looking serious.
I just want to ask, I wanted some clarification, maybe what I have learned earlier, so I am not very sure if it is right. So it is said that in this material world, the Paramatma is along with the soul, like in the body, there is, if there is soul, then Paramatma is also alongside. So then that way Paramatma is in every atom. So Paramatma is distributed all over the universe, like even in atom and even in the human body, in any plant, animal body, everything. So the Paramatma is diffused in that fashion, like Shiva Vishnu. And then you said that in the spiritual world, Krishna is Paramatma. So there Krishna is like distinct from everyone, but how do we understand then that Krishna is like diffused in is it like that diffused in everything?
So what is wrong if he gets diffused? You think he will diminish? He himself says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtam matta smritir jnanam apohanam. Krishna says, I am in everybody's heart. Right? So if he is in everybody's heart, he is not only here in the material world, he is also in the spiritual world. He is everywhere. Sarvata pani padam tat sarvata yakshi shiromukam sarvata shruti manloke sarvam avritya tishtati. Says everywhere are my hands and legs and my ears, and I am covering everything. Isavashram idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. Everything is enveloped, so he is diffused everywhere. Because without his satta, nothing can have satta. Without his existence, nothing can have existence. So even in the form of, he says, Sukshmanam aham jiva, right? Among the subtle things, I am jiva. That is also his vibhuti. Aham atma gudakesha sarvabhut ashrayastitah. Right? He says, I am the atma situated in everyone's heart. So if he is Paramatma and Paramatma is everywhere, then he is also diffused or not? So this concept has to be made clear, because it's a little difficult to understand. Why? Because our tendency at this empirical level is to see things black and white. Means something, and this table ends here, and then after that it is not there. So whenever we think of Krishna, we also think that he is like that he ends here, and after that there is no more Krishna. But it is not true. So that's what he showed, that he is looking like a limited person, and yet he is unlimited. So unlimited means what is everywhere. So there is diffusion but no confusion. Right? So we have to understand this, because this makes confusion, and then when you start thinking like this, then you think that now there is nothing material. That's another extreme. So either we think that this is all material and there is nothing spiritual here, or we start thinking that there is only spiritual and there is nothing material. So we have to therefore understand that God has got three types of energies. Although there are statements that all this is Brahman and Vasudeva, all this is Vasudeva, all this is Ishvara, right? But still we have to understand that the others are also there.
So is it correct that when the gets liberated, and either in Brahman or Vaikuntha, whichever is the destination, then at that instant Paramatma leaves the soul. Is it like that? Because that is what I learned earlier. I'm just trying to clarify.
So he becomes liberated from Paramatma. So what do you think?
Should we?
He should leave?
No.
No?
Then Paramatma becomes Krishna.
Yeah, so then why are you asking?
No, after listening to you, it is clarified, but then earlier, that is what I was thinking.
Yeah, so Paramatma is just a controlling aspect of Krishna only. It is not that Paramatma is somebody else. That's why I'm saying that this idea of what you call 0 or 1, this binary system, we have to transcend that. So when we say that Krishna becomes Paramatma, then we think that now Paramatma is somebody who is different from Krishna. It's just the way he wants to control this universe. He has one form, but he's also Krishna only. So when you don't want his other aspect because you want to be absorbed in the material world, then he leaves you. When you turn your face towards him, you become Bhagavad Antarmukha or Sammukha. So then he also turns his face towards you. He's there only. So if we are not ready, then it's like that. So there was one story, I don't remember it exactly, but there was one guru, and one man came to him, and sometimes people come and say, "Can you guide to me some great devotee here, or some Siddha Purusha?" So he went to him and he says, "Can you please tell me if there is some Siddha Purusha or Mahabhagavat here?" In our terminology we say Mahabhagavat. If you want to be a little more esoteric, then you say Rasika Bhakta. So that sadhu said, yes, you should go to the Himalayas. There are many Siddhas living there in the caves. So therefore he went in search of one after another, and he was asking, he says, "No, you go there, you go there." And like that he traveled for 12 years. And in 12 years he had forgotten where all he has gone, he went so many people. So finally he came to one sadhu. He was sitting under a tree, but he has like his turban little falling over his face, not clear. And somebody had guided him that actually this is a Siddha Purusha under the sitting in this tree. So he came there and he bowed down, and now he has actually done so much traveling, and so he says, "Finally I have come." He fell at his feet and he says, "People say that you are the Siddha Purusha," and he said, "Yes." So then he looked up and he says, "Can you bless me?" And he removed his face and realized he was the same person from where he started. And he says, "You are the one I came first." And I said, "Yes." He says, "Why you didn't tell me at that time?" He says, "Because at that time you were not ready. You wanted to do pramana and test everybody. So now you have seen and you have come back. So you will have Shraddha in me now." So like that, the living entity, the jiva, here in the material world is not interested now in Bhagavan. Otherwise he's here also. So he's going here and there, looking for happiness. So when he finally comes back and turns his face towards Krishna, then Krishna is right there. So you don't have to go anywhere. Okay, anything else? Yes, Shailesh.
I have a question about this mechanism in which jiva becomes identified with the gross and subtle bodies.
Yes.
So Jiva GosvamI explained that upon seeing the mental modifications, it becomes identified. And if I remember correctly, yesterday you explained that actually it is not really the case that the jiva sees because it doesn't really have any sense to see. It is rather the ahankara that makes us, that provides us this concept that I do, I see, and etc. So I was thinking a little bit about it, and but the ahankara is not a separate entity. It's just that part of psychic apparatus that gives us this sense of I. So I was just wondering who is actually the seer. The jiva is not the seer. The ahankara is also, I'm not sure whether you could say that it's the seer.
So I come back to my original statement of making a cut point that this is Atma, this is Jiva, this is Ahankara, this is seer, this is not seer. So if you read the verse, it says Kshetragya eta mansor vibhuti jivasya maya rachitasya nitya avirhita kvapi tirohitascha shuddho vichastehi avishuddha karta. So he says avishuddha karta, the impure agent. So that impure agent is, you call it mind here, or you can call ahankara, but that is the composite unit. You see, in the Upanishad, this body is also called Purusha, right? Annamaya Purusha. Esha vai Annamaya Purusha. So body is also called a person, living being, because we also say, if somebody asks you, who are you? You give your introduction of your own physical body only. So this is your personality. And then we have Manomaya Purusha. So Atma is identifying, and when you are identifying, it is only for our understanding to say that there is Atma and then there is Ahankara. And as if Ahankara is existing independent, it doesn't exist independently. Just like I said that nothing here can exist independent of Bhagavan. So like that in this body also, nothing can exist independent of Atma. And Atma cannot exist, of course, without Bhagavan. So this Ahankar Tattva which is there, it is also there because Atma is there. If Atma leaves after that, you may call it Ahankar, it is not an Ahankar, it's not functioning anymore like that. It's like if you remove the battery from the car, then you can call that this is steering, this is seat, this is body, this is engine, but they're all same material, it's all matter. They don't do any function anymore. The tire is not working as a tire anymore, the steering is not functioning as steering anymore. Just a piece of matter. So in the same way, we have different parts, and we'll study that in Sankhya, different levels of matter. And they are all now energized by the Atma, and they have the identity because of that. So who is seeing Prakriti Purusaucha Vidya Nada Ubhavapi? So it is said that Atma is situated in the midst of all this matter and enjoys. But enjoyment is happening where? So he is enjoying by identifying with them, not being distinct. If you can see being distinct, that is the viveka. That's what we are trying to study, understand and achieve. But that's not what is happening at present. So it's for us, because how to make us understand that we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are not the ahankara. So it has to be explained, because we are not. But at present we are mixed with it. Mixed in the sense that it's difficult to extricate one from the other. That's why no matter how many times you hear, I'm not the body, still you feel you are the body. You can talk, you can lecture about it, you can do all types of things, but when it comes to practical application, then we act as if I am the body. If you are hungry, obviously hunger is in the body, but you say I am hungry and you are not going to sit in the class and listen if you are hungry. Then you are thinking of the food. You cannot say I am not the body, let body go to hell, I don't care. Or you don't become disturbed by the hunger or something else like that. So at present we are completely mashed up and messed up by that. So that's why he uses the word avishuddha kartuhu. So this is the maya. This maya is very deep. It's just outside the Atma. And it's making you identify with that. So all this seeing or knowing or everything is now happening outside. But Atma is there with it. So that's why it becomes complex to understand, because it's not same black and white thing that this is Atma, this is body, this is mind. We will study like that in Sankhya. But at present it's all mixed up, it's all fuzzed up together. Where is it? It's like you put sugar into the water. So sugar is mixed up. So sugar is not water, water is not sugar, we can talk about it. But where is the sugar? You don't see it. Right? So same way, where is the Atma in the body? You don't see it. It's everywhere. And yet you can take out the sugar from the water, you can evaporate the water, sugar will remain. It doesn't really get mixed up. Mixed up means that we are unable to distinguish. That is the meaning of mixing. So similarly, Atma, you are unable to distinguish it now from body, mind, ahankara, all this. It has like become one nice composite unit. So if you drink sugar water, you say, this water is sweet. Actually, water is not sweet. Sweetness is not the quality of the water. That's the quality of the sugar. But we say like that because now the sugar and water have become one. Or we treat them as one, they are not one. They're still two. So you're tasting water or you're tasting sugar? So similarly, is it Atma who is seeing, or is it Ahankara who is seeing, or Manandi who is the seer? So when we philosophically understand, then we say, well, actually I'm tasting sugar. But at empirical level, we always say, I'm tasting the water, this sweet water, right? So, but if you deliberate properly, then you say, I'm tasting sugar. So that's what we are trying to do here. We are trying to make this distinction. But it is a tough job. So that's why we have to accept Maya. It's the play of Maya. Okay. So is it clear somewhat? It's making sense, right? So to whom is it making sense? To Atma? To your mind? Okay. So yesterday we studied these two slokas spoken by sage Jadbharat to King Rahugana, where he talked about two types of kshetragya, or knowers of the field. And we were studying the first of the two verses. So he says that this person who is conditioned, who has these upadhis created by Maya, and who knows these two fields, swasharir dvayalakshana kshetrasya gyatritvat kshetragya uchyate. So he is called kshetragya, and I explained that it is gyatritvat means that it is the person who is aware of them. And again, where is the awareness? So awareness also is manifesting in the body, so that although the source of awareness is Atma, but then it is the intellect and mind and ahankara which become carrier of that awareness. That's why Krishna says, Ichha, Dvesa, Sukham, Dukkham, Sanghata, Chetna. He is even using the word Chetna, awareness or consciousness. That is also part of Kshetra only. But now the way he is saying that it is Atma who is aware of these two, which are his body, therefore he is called Kshetragya. So he is aware, but don't think that he is aware without this whole set of mind, buddhi, senses, etc. He is aware through them only. And that awareness is also inside Kshetra only. Iti kshetram samasena savikaram dahrita. Right? So now he says taduktam. So he refers to Bhagavad Gita. This is Bhagavatam. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manute nartham tatkritam chabhipadyate. So this is a verse from Samadhi, description of Samadhi of Srila Vyasa, described in 7th chapter of 1st canto. So Bhakti Yogena Mansi Samyak Pranihite Male Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Chetadapashrayam. So he saw Purna Purusha, and he also saw the Jiva, Yaya Sammohita Jiva. He also saw that this Maya, which was taking shelter of that Purna Purusha, that Bhagwan, she is bewildering the Jiva. And what is the bewilderment? Atmanam Trigunatmakam Paroapi Manute. That although it is Para, this Jiva is Para, as it was said earlier. If you go to the previous page, Yashuddho api mayata paro api. So same thing is stated here, that although it is para or superior or transcendental to Maya, yet he is bewildered, sammohita. So sammohana means that when your perception is not proper, when you perceive something wrongly, that is called sammohana. So therefore it says yaya sammohito jiva. So this Maya has confused the jiva. And atmanam trigunatmakam manute. What is the confusion? That now he starts thinking that I am made of the three gunas, which means this body, mind, etc. Because they are made of three gunas. So then he starts thinking I am material. And therefore I take birth, I die, I grow, I am male, I am female, I am beyond that LGBTQ plus, all that. So, but this is not Atma. Atma is not LGBTQ. But now he starts thinking like that. See the splendor of Maya. So much variety Maya brings. More Maya comes, more variety comes. Previously there was only male and female. Then Maya was not happy with that. She created so many more. So these are the all products of Maya, latest products in the market. So he says, Ya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam manute, and then this is the anartha. So people talk about chitta shuddhi. So this is the impurity. And to remove this, that is chitta shuddhi. So although Atma is para, superior to Maya, transcendental to Maya, but now it starts thinking that he is product of Maya. Right? Because all these human forms, human bodies or all other bodies, these are all product of Maya only. So you think of yourself as that, and then tatkritam cha abhipadyate, and then he undergoes the misery resulting from this sammohana, this bewilderment, this confusion. So that's what happens. So bewildered by this extrinsic potency, the invisible self, although transcendental to the three gunas of material nature, thinks of itself as consisting of the three gunas and thus undergoes the misery resulting from this identification. So same what we studied yesterday, that he identifies, remember? Visheshena pashyan tatra avishto bhavati. He sees and becomes absorbed. Becoming absorbed means identifying. So he makes it clear here that he identifies. And then when identification is there, then all the problems begin. Right? So that's why in Sankhya and Yoga they talk about Prakriti Purusha Viveka, because they see that this is the trouble. In Bhakti we go beyond that. So in Sankhya they don't talk about Maya. They only talk about, well, the problem is this identification, so we should disidentify. But they don't know that this identification is by the power of Maya, and you cannot get rid of Maya without Mayapati. So this is where they make the mistake. This is the lacuna in that philosophy, that darshana. So that's why we need Bhagavatam. So, tasya manasaha kidrishtaya maya virichitasya. By what characteristic is the mind to be understood as product of maya? So earlier it was said that manaso vibhutir jivasya maya rachitasya, that this maya rachita vibhuti and my manas is also part of that. So he says maya rachitasya tatra jivasya jiva upadhitaya जीव तादात्म्येन रचितस्य ततश्च तत्तयो उपचर्यमानस्य इत्यर्थ. So in response, Jadbharata says that mind is that which pertains to the empirical self, meaning that it is created as an adjunct of the empirical self. This indicates that the mind is a creation with which the jiva becomes identified, meaning that the mind as adjunct is thenceforth taken to be the living entity's actual identity. So then mind becomes our identity, and then whatever happens to the mind, then we think that this is happening to me. That is the meaning of identity. When you identify with something, means whatever happens to that happens to you. You don't see yourself as separate from that. So although jiva is separate from the mind, but when it identifies, then it does not see itself as a separate. And then whatever happens to the mind, then it thinks it's happening to me. And there are a lot of things which happen to mind. So therefore, now the poor Atma is never free. So therefore, some gurus these days, they are talking about no mind meditation. So they think mind is a trouble, so let's get rid of that. But it's not easy. They don't again understand that there is maya behind all this. Okay? Tatascha kidrishasya avishuddham bhagavad bahirmukham karma karoti tadrishasya. So how is the mind further described? It is a performer of impure actions, avishuddha karta. So in Bhagavatam verse it was said anartham cha vipadyate tatkritam anartham tatkritam cha vipadyate. So what is that anartha? The word impure here means those actions that are undertaken from the separate self-sense rooted in non-awareness of Bhagavan. So this is the basic concept which comes, and JIva Goswami is the one who has made it so clear. You don't see this kind of clarity in other commentaries. You can talk, you hear all these terms, Chitta Suddhi and Maya and this and that, but what is actually the problem? This is the problem. So we are not aware, our awareness is not of Bhagavan, therefore rooted in non-awareness of Bhagavan. So these things go together. Bhayam ditiya vinivestasad ishat apetasya vipareyo smriti. So ishat apetasya, turning away from Isha, from Bhagavan, then there is vipareya smriti, then there is loss of memory, which means not having proper understanding about yourself. And bhayam ditya vinivestasad, then there is absorption in the second, which is the body, and then there is a fear and all other problems related to the mind. Same thing. So this is the root problem. This non-awareness, sometimes it is called agyan, ignorance, sometimes it is called bahirmukta, but it means the same thing. So the root problem is that we are not aware of Bhagavan, and that's most amazing thing. It's like you live inside the ocean and you are not aware of the water. Isn't it? It's quite amazing. Actually, fish is not aware of the water. Because what happens that to know something, you have to make little distance from it. The fish knows the value of water when fish is taken out of the water. When she is inside the water, she doesn't think that water is such an important thing. That actually it is my life. So in case of fish, it is possible to take the fish out of the water. In case of us, it is not possible that you can be out of Bhagwan. Yet Maya creates that illusion that you are outside Bhagwan, and then you can thump your chest, where is God, show me God. It's like fish is inside the water and she is proudly saying, show me water, where is water? What nonsense you are saying, water, water, I live by my own effort. Right? People say, I do karma and I live by my own self. But you don't get breath for 2 minutes, then instead of you thumping your chest, somebody else will be thumping it. Because you cannot do it anymore. So, this is the situation. We are inside Bhagwan all the time, and yet we are denying Him. So this is the role of Maya. That being inside the water all the time, 24 hours, we deny water. The existence of water, that there is anything called water. We actually live inside it, we drink it, we eat it, we survive in it. Our whole existence is dependent on that. And you say, no, there is no such thing as water. What you are talking about? So it is a similar situation. So therefore he says that this is the impurity. Because of this non-awareness of Bhagavan, then you take into impure actions and you suffer. So everybody is suffering. Some people are aware of that, some are not even aware of that. You become so non-aware that you are not even aware of your own suffering. People are so dull that they don't actually see that they are suffering. Because to have awareness of suffering, also you have to have some chetana. You have become so much, absorbed in matter that you can't even feel that anymore. You have become immune or insensitive rather to that. So people have become so insensitive, and then we are trying to develop that insensitivity by all types of drugs and drinks and food and gadgetry. All we are doing is we are increasing our insensitivity. So then people become so dull that you cannot talk about God anymore. It's like you can't talk about water anymore. The fish has become so insensitive that she doesn't even know that what is water, what are you talking about? Does this word even exist? Forget about the object, water. So then you come up with theory that this is all theory created by Aborigines, all these tribal people who did not know much. This is the insensitivity. Dullness because of the matter. Because more you become attached to matter, more you will become dull like matter. Jada. So you become jada. So jada also means cold. You become completely cold. People are like that now, they are very cold. Insensitive. They call it rhinoceros skin. Thick. Nothing can penetrate. So Kidrish Vibhuti, how are the presentation or modifications of the mind described? So nitya anadita eva anugata. They are continuous, meaning that they are beginningless, anadita, and that they proceed in perpetual succession. So nitya, eternal, here means beginningless, and beginningless does not mean that it is the same thing, but it is perpetual. Like karma, you do karma, that gives result, then it leads to another karma, and then karma is eternal in that sense, like tree and seed. So that particular tree may be dead, but it has left seeds which has given rise to more trees like that. And this is the parampara. So this is the vibhuti. So tatra cha kada kidrishi, how and when are these modifications manifest and unmanifest? Iti apekshayamaha jagrat swapnayor avirbhuta shushuptau tirohitascha. So in the sloka it was said avirhita kwapi tirohitascha. So sometimes these modifications are manifest and sometimes they are not manifest. So they are manifest in the wakeful and the dream state, and they are not manifest in the deep sleep. They are there, but you don't perceive them. That's why. So this is the description of the first kshetragya. And then there is the second kshetragya, which is in the second sloka. So kshetragya atma purushah purane sakshat swayam jyotirajah paresha narayano bhagwan vasudeva samaya atmani abhidheya mana. So this is the second one. So about that he speaks now. So yastu purano jagat karan bhutah purushah adya avatara purusha parasya kala swabhava sadhasan manascha ityadina dutiyado prasiddha. So on the other hand, there is another supreme witness described as follows. So he is the primeval person, Purana Purusha, meaning that he is the unconditional cause of the cosmos, Jagat Karan Bhuta Purusha. So this cosmos is not without a cause, it has a cause, and that cause is this Kshetragya. So he is called here as Purusha, because matter is not independent of the conscious being. All this matter is for some conscious being. It does not have its function in itself or its utility or purpose for itself. This table is not for the sake of the table. It is for the sake of some living being. So all material objects and up to the cosmos is only for living beings. So that's why Krishna says, Yaya dharyate jagat. It says that this universe is upheld by the jivas, because it is meant for them. Otherwise there is no need to create it. So anything which is created is for conscious beings. So therefore Purusha, and he is the Adya Avatara Purusha Parasya. So Purusha here refers to the Paramatma, the first manifestation or Karnadaksha. So there is a Param Purusha or Para Purusha, and then there is a Purusha. So this is the Adya Avatara. So he is the unconditional cause of the cosmos, as well known from descriptions such as that in second canto. The Purusha is the first or primary descent of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan comes as the first Purusha. So that is Karnadaksha, or sometimes called Mahapurusha. And Sakshadeva Swayam Jyoti Swaprakash. So then you may say, well, who created him and how is that? He says he is Sakshat. So Sakshat means Swayam Jyoti Swaprakasha. He is unmediatedly self-existent and self-revealing, meaning that he does not depend on anyone, as is the case with the Jiva. So this is what makes him as Ishvara or Bhagavan or Paramatma, that he is not dependent on anyone else. So nobody can claim themselves as Bhagavan unless you show that you are independent. So he is the only one. And natu jivad anya apekshaya, he is not dependent on anyone else. Like the jiva, we are dependent. Ajo janmadi shunya, he is unborn, meaning that he is altogether free from birth and all other ensuing transformations. Those 6 types of transformations, asti, jayate, vardhate and so on. Parinamte, apakshiyate, indriyate. And Paresham Brahmadi Namapi Isha, he is the almighty controller. Paresha, meaning that he is the controller even of powerful gods like Brahma. And Naram Jiv Samuham Svaniyamyatvena Ainam Yasyasa, he is Narayana, so meaning who support Ayana, all living beings. So the word Narayana has different explanations, derivations. So Narajjatani Tattvani Narani iti vidu Buddha Tasya Tani Ainam Purvam Te Narayana Smrita. All these living beings, entities, they are coming from him, they are therefore called Nara, and he lies down them, or he is the support of them, therefore he is called Narayana. Apo Nara iti prokta na apo vai nar sunava yadiyasya ainam purvam te Narayana Smrita. Nara also means water, and he sleeps in water, that's why he is called Narayana. So here he says Nara means the living beings, and he is the support of living beings, therefore he is called Narayana. And then Bhagavan, Aishwaryadi and Swan, Bhagavatam Sattvat. He is Bhagavan, meaning that he is partially endowed with inherent potency, because he is an integral portion of Krishna and Bhagavan. So Bhagavan means Aishwarya. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasya jnana vairagyasyapi shandam bhagitingana. And he is Vasudeva. So Sarvabhutanam Ashray. So Vasudeva means he is the one who gives the place for residence for everyone. Vasa means the place. So everybody lives in him. So shelter or substratum of all living beings. And then Swamaya Swaswarup Shaktya Atmani Swaswarupe Avdhiyamano Avasthapyamano. He is established in the self, or in other words, in his own intrinsic being, Swaswarupa, by virtue of the potency that is innate to his own being, Swamaya, which here refers to his own intrinsic potency. So, Sapurusha Kutrastita Swamahim. So he is situated, what is his support? He also must live somewhere. So he lives in his own potency, Swashakti or Swamaya, that is his Antaranga Shakti. So it is his Antaranga Shakti who is supporting him. So it is also again a little bit complex mathematics, that he is supported by his own internal potency, but internal potency is supported by him. So who is supporting whom? So is it that the boat is on water or water is on the boat? Is the water supporting the boat or boat is supporting the water? So that is Avdhiyamana, Swamaya. So there is a little bit of problem in this word avdhiyamana, because this avdhiyamana is shanach pratyaya, but it is in passive voice. And passive voice means that somebody has given that support to him, right? So therefore he says that this is karam kartri prayoga. So passive voice is used when the karma, the object is made the agent, right? So bhojanam maya kriyate, food is eaten by me. So food is the object, I eat food, now food becomes the agent. So similarly there is a karam kartri prayoga, that when kriyamanam tu yat karma swayam siddham pratiyate, so atyant sukratvena karam karteti tadvidu. That when an agent is performing an action and the action is so easy for him, then it appears as if he is not doing it, but the action is happening by itself. So then to show that this kind of usage is used in Sanskrit, it is called karam kartri prayoga. So then the verb is used in the passive voice, in karma vachya instead of kartri vachya. Otherwise, if it would appear that somebody has made him the support, right? If it is a passive voice, means he is made support by someone else. That's how it is. Because then you have to use by. The food is eaten by me. So food is now in the active voice, agent, and by me. So if he is the support and it is in passive voice, means he is made the support by someone else. So he says, no, it is not true. He supports all this, and it is so easy for him that it appears as if the support is happening by itself. That is the significance of karam kartri. So maya maike antaryamittvena pravishtopi swarup shaktya swarupasthayeva natu tatsansakta. And although he is the antaryami, the immanent of the mic, these material objects, he is not influenced by them. So number 8 we have, he is established in the self, or in other words, in his own intrinsic being, swaswarupa, by virtue of the potency that is innate to his own being, which here refers to his own intrinsic potency. Here the passive voice has been used in the sense of the active. The meaning is that though he has entered into the extrinsic potency of Maya and is immanent within the conditioned individual being as its indwelling self by his own innate potency, he remains situated in his own intrinsic being, meaning that he is not in contact with Maya. So this is the second Kshetragya. So you see the distinction, why he is giving this explanation. He is making the distinction that both are inside Maya, Jiva as well as Paramatma. But Jiva is Avishta, right? So Visheshena, Vichaste, Chaste, Pashyan, Tatra Avishto Bhavati. He becomes absorbed, attached, conditioned by it. Whenever you are attached to something, then you become conditioned by that something. Whatever is your attachment is also your conditioning. So Paramatma does not become conditioned by anything because he doesn't become attached. So this is different. So he is aware, he is also aware, but he is not attached. So therefore he is the real Kshetragya. So we'll stop here. Any question? Otherwise we take a break. Can you give the mic here?
Sometimes it is said the universe is made for the jivas, as you just mentioned now. Sometimes more specifically it is for the devotees, those who haven't made it in the last creation. And sometimes we just hear that it's his own lila for his own, he's just playing with his own energies and only for himself. So is are all these statements just from various aspects the same thing, or why are these different statements?
Yeah, it is same, there is no difference. It just at which level you want to analyze. So if you are just analyzing in general, then it is for Jiva, because it is Jiva who are making use of it, he doesn't need it. Then you go a little deeper, come to Bhakti, then you say, well, he doesn't act for anyone else but for devotees. And then ultimately you come to the level of his Bhagwan feature. So he acts only out of his love, that's all. So there is no contradiction. Okay, so we'll take a break.
Just one question
Yeah.
You said that the fish being in water but then becoming insensitive. And likewise, we have become insensitive to the awareness of Bhagavan. So whatever is aiding that insensitivity, maybe like what I'm meaning is this technological advancement. So they say that technological advancement has made life easy and it has made life world better, the world has become better with this, all this.
Now they don't say anymore. They used to say like that. Now they are changing their tone. A lot of problems.
So that is also increasing the insensitivity.
Yeah, it is, of course. All this artificial intelligence, already your intelligence is not working, now you will have artificial. So even the adjective artificial has come now. So that means you are becoming more and more dull. More you use artificial intelligence, that means now you don't use your real intelligence. And if you don't use it, you lose it. And it is intelligence which gives you awareness. So if your intelligence becomes blunt, then you don't have much awareness left. Okay? Right.